Well, this is Brian and Darrin. We're at the Rock Ranch studio, and brand new build. We just got the Cycwall done, and this is our first shoot. We thought it would be appropriate to do Mom and Dad's GTO. Mom and Dad bought it brand new from Utter Pontiac, and it's the car we grew up with. Then Dad drove it 161,000 miles, and the U-joint broke, so he parked it in the side yard, and it sat there for many years. And people were coming up trying to buy it about once a week. And I think I was home on leave from the military, and one guy come up, gave all the right answers. Mom and Dad let him have it for $800. Knowing that was a really good deal.
Yeah, I think I was in the military at the time.
Yeah.
I think I was, because I didn't even know it was sold until I got a letter that it was sold.
Yeah.
And not like we were, super car guys anyway back in those days.
I really didn't appreciate it back then. It was a big car.
Family car.
Yeah. It's a car we grew up with. Rich gave all the right answers, and Mom and Dad let him have it. And then it was about 3 years later, I was working at Kaiser, and on break on swing shift, I was reading the newspaper, and I saw there was an ad. This guy had 3 cars for sale. One was a '65 GTO second owner, $7,900. Called him up, and I, without identifying myself, I says, "Is that my dad's car?" And he said, "Well, yep, if you are who I think you are, it's your dad's car." We went out and looked at it. He let us have it for, my ex and I had it for $6,000 instead of the $7,900. And Mom and Dad kind of knew it was for sale, but didn't know that Alicia and I had bought it. We went out to Waits Lake, and Dad, that was in his mind, that car, and he talked to her up and down about everything he could about that car, and not knowing it was in our garage. And then they came home from the lake. We drove it up on him. He thought that was pretty cool.
Dad, he was a kid at heart. Every time he looked at that car, he had that big old smile on him.
He come running out the house.
I think the most of the stories, we grew up in the car, obviously, and 3 of us boys were in the back seat. It was a family car.
Yeah.
It towed boats. We went Banks Lake fishing with the boat behind it. I remember Mom driving it with a trailer on the back of it,
I remember she hit the dog.
Yeah,
on the way to
and she
Banks
actually
Lake.
hit the dog, and she was devastated.
Dog lived.
Yeah.
Just bumped him.
But it was a family car, and that's where a lot of people don't understand. They see it today as a straight rod, but
I really didn't appreciate it as a muscle car back then. It was just the family car. We had our own muscle cars that we were working on.
When you look at Mom, she was a hot rodder at heart. The older she got, the more she appreciated the old cars. And of course, that's when we started kind of really getting into them.
Right.
We've all had cars in high school, and I've let a few of them go, and then finally started appreciating them more and working on them more and doing more and more with Spokane Hot Rod. But when Mom was around at GTO, she always had the smile.
Oh, yes.
And her eyes were always just beaming. I
Yep.
mean, it was pretty cool to see them around it.
Yeah, she'd pull it out of the shop, and she'd just sit in the car and just the biggest grin on her face.
Yeah, and I even got some pictures of that. And then she always had the 10 and 2. Mom was like,
Oh, yeah.
it's like she was driving, but she had 10 and 2, and she was like, her shoulders were up, and she was like looking over the steering wheel and stuff. And I remember Mom in your guys' backyard with those pictures, and then Dad was just big old grin on it.
I think I'd just gotten the engine put back in it. Had the engine compression knocked down one point so we could run it on today's gas. But Dieter in Tillamook, Oregon went through it. I sent a cam down with him. It was a tri-power cam. Make the cam a little bit bigger than that stock.
It sounds good.
had. And he goes, "You don't want that cam." And I said, "Okay, you're the Pontiac guy. What do I need?" Well, I put a factory Ram Air 4 cam in it, and it's perfect. It's got a good rumble to it.
So the latest update, what you've done?
Well, I got the car. I wanted to keep it as stock as I could. I put the hubcaps back on it. I put the Redline bias ply tires back on it. The only thing I changed was the chrome pedal, the chrome around the brake pedal and the gas pedal and the clutch pedal. And that would have been a disc brake car, but it looked better. But I drove it for a while and just terrible to drive.
We'd be going down the road, and then he'd stall a little bit and be coasting and coasting. I knew exactly what was going on.
You couldn't shift the thing from first to second. And first gear was not synchronized. You had to come to almost complete stop. The 3-speed tranny just sucked.
Yeah, I used to laugh. I'd be behind him. Come on, Brian, get it in gear.
Yep.
Come on, Brian, get it in gear.
And so finally I had enough of that, and Uncle Dave kept telling me, well, for my car, I'd put a 4-speed in it. I was looking, and I finally found one. So I put a M21 4-speed in it, and it changed the whole car.
Well, I'm glad you did, because nothing worse than having a car that you don't like to drive.
Oh, it was terrible. I hated driving it.
Yeah.
But now it's a completely different car. It drives nice.
That makes it nice.
I've been on Facebook. I put, "Sorry, Dad, had to do an upgrade." Uncle Dave tried to drive it one time, and the first chance to go from first to second, he couldn't get it. You put it in. So left-handed, I had to get it into second gear. He says, "Put a 4-speed in it."
The whole car is neat. It's pretty stock. Looks pretty cool.
A lot of people really appreciate it at the car shows, how stock I kept it. And a lot of them hop them up and chrome them up and just...
Well, the biggest thing I always see is the wheels.
Yeah, and Mom and Dad just had the stock GTO, so that's what I kept it as.
Yeah, the stock hubcaps are just, it's a signature of the car. If you start changing the wheels to, Kragers or something, then
When I bought it, it
becomes a hot rod.
had centerline wheels on it. It just wasn't Dad's car anymore.
Yeah.
So I had to put them back to the...
I think you did a good job keeping it original, and updating a little bit to it. If you're hanging up gears, it's not very safe either. So,
Oh, no.
I mean,
It was...
the safety aspect of it, and then the comfortable driving, it just makes it a lot nicer. The studio's been 2002 is when we broke ground. It was October, I put the money down. In December, I pinched all the nerves in my back, and I really was contemplating not building the studio. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden, things got a little bit better. I started to be able to walk a little bit. Got the building done. And then slowly over, I don't know, it's 2.5 years now, we've been kind of playing with the conference rooms, which we're in now. The Cycwall.
17 doctors got your whip back to almost in the shape.
Yeah, we've come a long way, and like I said, the Cycwall has always been kind of my focus. It's kind of like the grand thing of anybody can have a room, anybody can have a conference room, anybody can have a place to shoot pictures. But when you start working with a Cycwall, it's a whole different animal.
Well, there's not many people that have a Cycwall.
No.
Number one, it's a lot of maintenance. Number two, it's a lot of work to get it, and it takes up a lot of room.
Well, the funniest thing is we got to get in our socks.
Yes.
You'll see how we brought the car in and stuff, but we're actually running around in our socks because we can't scuff up the floor. It's white. I mean,
I had to go through my socks to see which ones didn't have holes in them. Lighting is completely different.
Every time you turn on a light, there's a shadow somewhere. And if you try to turn on another light to get rid of the shadow, then that light makes another shadow.
Yes.
It is a challenge. And sure, you can fake a lot of it with Photoshop, and I could probably fake quite a bit with Photoshop if I spent time. But knowing that there's minimal Photoshop on there, You know, you might take out the paper that the car is actually sitting on paper. You won't see it in the photos, but and you really don't see it in the pictures when we're taking them. But the end result, I'm going to make sure that you can't see those. But
I was amazed how much dirt was on the cardboard for the tire tracks when we pushed it in.
oh, we'd have been in trouble.
Now you do that on white, and,
Another thing we haven't done is smoke. We could probably roll some smoke out from underneath it and get, but I mean, we shot probably a couple hundred photos today. Most of them are about the same stuff, just with different lighting, different this, that.
well, we had a lot of learning to do today.
Well, and that's
We
it.
did.
And as we get better at shooting in the studio, we can put together a little book and then say, hey, thumb through the book. And if you like a certain way we did something, we'll have the ability to replicate it on your car and then make it better.
I really want to try painting the car, painting the photo.
In your socks. Yeah, I think as we do this more and we get more people involved, it's a lot for two of us. We had to take a couple breaks today, and that's okay. But it's fun. It's fun. It's what I wanted to do.
I won't be able to get out of bed tomorrow, but it was fun.
Yeah,
today.
it'll be a mad night, but the results are amazing.
Yep,
and,
it was fun. Learned a lot.
We didn't build it to make money. We didn't build it to,
We're just here to have fun doing it.
yeah. And so it's all about fun. It's the social aspect of it. Of course, we use the studio itself for social gatherings, barbecues, and what else. But for the most part, we just wanted to do something different.
Well, it's a whole different game when you're not chasing the dollar. You just have fun doing it. And it shows in the photos.
And that's one thing I've told myself 100%, no matter what we do in here, whether it's shooting a car, cosplay, barbecue, I've always said that we've got to keep it free and fun. That way we don't lose sight of what we're doing. And so we made it this far, and so far, first car in here, I think it was a win.
Yes.
It'll be interesting to see what I can do, stitching a few photos together, because certain lights will put shadows in areas, and then you want to take another picture without that light to remove that shadow. And then we've got the light game too, because shiny cars have reflections.
Yes. And windshield.
God, the windshield's
Glare.
terrible. Terrible. The perimeter light on the windshield puts a line right across your windshield. So
But we learned how to get rid of that.
Yeah.
So
I think we'll dial it in and just know that every picture we take, if we're going to do a poster quality photo, then through polarizers and 2 or 3 photos at the same position, we can take the best of each photo and stitch them all together and make one really cool one. So in the future, we're going to have our buddies first, friends, people that have helped. Of course, I couldn't build this all by myself. So people that have hot rods and that help build the studio and are a part of it all, or close friends with Spokane Hot Rod, we're going to bring them in first before we go out to the outside.
we have Jack going to drive clear from Pullman, and he's excited to come in here.
My goal is to get Black Betty in here.
Going to need wider cardboard.
And probably a rat rod. I wouldn't mind a rat rod, just because rat rods you'd probably never see on a Cycwall.
No glare.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And then the worst car, Brian. Which one's the worst car we're going to have? There's probably 2 of them that come to mind.
As far as hard to do,
As far as the worst ones they have on the Cycwall.
I'd say
Whose cars? Randy's Chevelle is gloss black.
yes, any black car.
And Dean's Camaro.
Dean's is going to be, his is very shiny.
They're both like glass.
Yes. We were having issues with the darker color of the burgundy, and I can't imagine black. It's going to
I think we're going to have to put some black curtains on this back row here.
and hide everything.
I don't think there's a way around it.
No, but there's again another learning curve, but we'll get it.
We'll get it. I think it'll be fun.
Our next car that we're going to bring in will be Scott's 65 Cobra replica. Beautiful car. And then we'll have Hot Rod Girl Sadie come join us. So she'll be the first hot rod girl to shoot in the studio with the Cycwall.
Okay, now an intro.
Hi, my name is Brian. I'm applying for the hot rod girl.
Yeah.
What else did we make them do? It's easy when you're making them squirm.
Yeah, it's kind of nice. Where's the hot rod girl? Come on, we need somebody intro. Come on, Lacey, you were the first one to.
And we need Brent here, he can rattle it off.
Yeah, Brent's pretty good about it.
Since they did a lot of support for the Rock Ranch studio. So we learned a lot today, but it went well. Can't wait to do some other friends' cars. Your turn.
That was bad. A little long.
I don't say much, so.
Oh, you did good though.
Damn lucky you got that. We're gonna have a pretty good blooper reel on this one.
Yeah. No, I'm not making myself look that bad.
Yeah, you make me look that bad. This guy can't.
Hi, this is Darrin Rock Rod Studio, and I got my brother, so we could have on the thing. Yeah.
And we're good at it.
I'll be cutting mine out, but I'm not cutting his out. Oh.
Gonna need a few beeps on that one, but
Yeah, I don't care.
now we know how the girls feel when we put them on the spot. Maybe we'll take a little more compassion with them.
The next one we're going to add, let me restart that. The next car in the Rock Rod Studio we're going to have is Scott's Cobra.
65 Cobra replica.
And then SpokaneHotRod Girl Sadie. And then SpokaneHotRod Girl Sadie will be here.
Redo.
Redo again. So the next car we have in the Rock Rod Studio will be Scott's 65 Cobra replica.
What's the line?
And Hot Rod Girl. So which one do you want to say?
I don't care.
You say what next car will be.
And, well, stop. Pause.